What are the topics you are going to cover in this?
Yeah, I was just starting with the topics what I will be covering. So I was just about to tell you those. I can't see you guys in conference right now.
Myself, I'm in conference only.
Okay. But your names are not being listed in here.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm in conference as well.
Okay.
Swaroop here.
Okay. Hi, Sarup. Sarup and Ashok, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So let's start. I guess I cannot see more participants right now.
I think they joined and they left. I feel.
Yeah. I saw they joined and they left. Okay. Okay. Let's start with what we have planned today. And okay. So first of all, I will tell you what all topics I will be covering in this Jmeter session. Okay. So here is like the day first, like I mentioned yesterday, the overview of performance testing concepts, like why it is required. Okay. So next is like performance testing types. We discuss why to use performance testing tool and what is Jmeter. Okay. So next, like day wise, we will be covering the topics day wise. Now, next we have planned for how to set up proxy server settings. What are the different modes for Jmeter for running? Okay. Then like how to add different elements in Jmeter and configuring the elements in the proper order. And then after building a proper test plan, how to run a test plan. Okay. Similarly, like how we can add defaults and prerequisites before the test run, like cookie support, cache support, adding HTTP requests, and different elements like listeners, how to save the test plan, how to run it, how to search it, right? Then like recordings comes. We start recording tests using Jmeter. Okay, like and this we will cover. We will be covering. I will be covering like how to create thread group, adding HTTP proxy server, configuring proxy server, how we can configure the browser for recording the test script. Okay, how like capturing some specific test steps using Jmeter, and exclusion of URLs during recording, right? Like let's say, I guess someone pop-ups. Hi, Samanchal. Just to update, like we are discussing what content we will be delivering in these Jmeter upcoming sessions, right? So in the recording, like how to configure proxy server, how to exclude different URLs during recording, right? This will be the part of this session. Next is there will be introduction in to different elements of Jmeter, such as how to control thread group settings. Controllers will be there, like controllers that will control the logic of your HTTP request, right? Then there are different samplers available. We will be discussing the HTTP request sampler, Java sampler. The samplers are the elements which like help the Jmeter to hit specific URL, right? Next, there will be listeners, different type of listeners, which we will be using for our Jmeter reporting purpose. There are similarly timers, which helps to add some think time to Jmeter scripts, or wait time between requests to simulate realistic behavior. Next is assertions, like whenever you plan some scripts, you need to validate the response. Okay, well, yeah, we have to put some validation measure. Okay, how we can assure we got the successful response or the expected response. Then there are different configuration elements like cache manager, cookie manager, or CSV dataset config elements. So we will be discussing about those elements. Next, we will discuss how we can parameterize data with the CSV, like how to reference a CSV in Jmeter, how to maintain test data in CSV. Again, so we will be discussing, and like what is the style you can, how you can reference your CSVs, yeah, in Windows and Linux systems. Okay. Next, there will be this is a very advanced feature, Jmeter properties. So what actually Jmeter properties? They are very helpful when you are running tests in your non-GUI modes. Okay. So there are local properties which help you to pass variable values to a single machine. Let's say if you are running a multiple load from the distributed setup from 3 to 4 or multiple machines and need to pass different variables, same value, then there are global properties. So we will be discussing this advanced feature of Jmeter. Next, there will be certain Jmeter functions like log function, UUID function, random function. Those help in generating random strings, outputting some variable value. So we will be discussing Jmeter functions as well, few functions. Okay, like assertions. Assertions, there are different type of assertions we will be discussing. Okay, how we can validate the response data related issues, how we can validate response size related issues, how validate the threshold for server response time. Okay, so these kind of assertion we will be discussing. Next is like how we will discuss like how to maintain multiple thread groups in a single test plan, like how to schedule ramp up, how to different way of execution. Like if you want a consecutive way of execution for thread groups, we can control that in Jmeter. If you want a parallel execution, that also can be done. So we will be discussing in here how like thread groups will be configured. Okay. Next is we will be discussing few inputs on preprocessors and post-processors. Like the most extensively used post-processor is regular expression extractor. This one. Okay. So similarly, like some query raised yesterday, like where to write the code. So this is the element. This is the element you can use bean shell BSF, in which you can write your code. Okay. Next, we will be discussing like how we can do the API testing through Jmeter. Like how you can create a GET request and how to create a POST request, in which like in POST request will be involving payload data. So we will be discussing how we can create a POST request and GET request and testing those APIs through Jmeter. Okay. Next, different advanced features of Jmeter to load test database queries. So in here, I will tell you how to configure JDBC drivers in Jmeter, and then JDBC sampler is used to query SQL from your different databases. So we will be discussing in here. Next is we will discuss about the distributed mode setup, like how to run a test in non-GUI setup with a master and a client. Okay, so this will be the distributed mode setup testing. And similarly, we will follow with like yesterday we had a discussion regarding how to measure the server's health. Okay, so that I will also be discussing through I will share some Linux commands through which we can monitor the server's health, and in non-GUI distributed setup, I will explain how we can run the Jmeter in server client model through Linux and CMD commands. Like in Linux as well, you can run the master slave, and even in CMD you can use the master slave. Okay. Next is like Jmeter's JTL understanding. So JTL understanding is like JTL is Jmeter text log. So let's say you have run a load test today, and you are seeking its reports even after someone asks for the report after 15 days. So maybe like a runtime report will not be available, but you must be having the JTL with you, so you can extract the report for that specific day. Okay, so I will share how you can generate JTL in GUI mode and how you can generate JTL in non-GUI mode. From JTL, you can extract any available reports in Jmeter. Okay, so this was the course content, and yes, I added those Linux commands. I will share with you how to monitor Linux servers when load is going on. Okay, so this was the course content we will be doing in upcoming days. So any questions over this?
Actually,
Yeah.
actually, something that you are covering like API related load testing we are covering. So
Yes.
can you take one application and can we do one workflow, end-to-end workflow, and how exactly?
I will be I will demo you the workflow by taking an example. That will not be an issue.
Okay, actually,
Okay.
like for example, if you take a Facebook and Facebook or whatever, do some transaction, then we'll get a overall idea how exactly we are using that.
Exactly. I will be showing you guys with the live example. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
So we cannot do on these like any site, but yes, I do have some references. So I will be showing you most of things with live examples only. So I will share you with how to extract like how to do correlation with live examples like using regex, how you can use loop controller, how you can use once only controller. So we will be discussing everything with the live example. Okay. So shall we start with today's session or anything else? Yeah.
One
Yes.
more
Yes.
question actually.
Yes,
For
please.
example, if you already have some scripts in automated or Selenium or whatever too,
Okay.
and now you want to reuse that one in the Jmeter. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so is such things possible in Jmeter? I mean, we are reusing the existing
I guess if we are talking about automation and performance compatibility, like automation tool and performance testing tool like Selenium and Jmeter, you cannot reuse because Selenium scripts are written in different way. Jmeter scripts are written in different way. Jmeter entire script is nothing. It's a pure and basic XML. Okay. In Selenium, you are using different frameworks. You are using Ruby or Python. So Selenium is not compatible with Jmeter. But yes, you can use the Jmeter script over the cloud like BlazeMeter. You just need to upload your Jmeter script and your related jars and your test data, and you can run the Jmeter script over BlazeMeter. But yes, Selenium and Jmeter compatibility, I don't. There is nothing like that. You can use Jmeter script with Selenium or Selenium with Jmeter. Okay.
Yeah, one more, this blaze
Yes.
meter, as you mentioned, yeah, even
Mm-hmm.
I saw that is also little popular in the market. So
Exactly.
can you, if you know something about, maybe can you give you overview how exactly, how it is different from the JMeter, something? How?
It's how it is different is like BlazeMeter is offering you the cloud services. Okay. So in JMeter, you need to download the setup on your machine, but BlazeMeter is providing you the extended support over the cloud only. Okay. So in BlazeMeter, what you need is you need a JMeter script, you need test data, and you need related jars, and you can upload there and can run the load test from your closest servers. Okay. But like in BlazeMeter, I mentioned yesterday, they're offering the free services after, I guess, 50 users. Afterwards, you need to buy license for those services. Okay. So in BlazeMeter, you nothing. You they are just offering everything on cloud, right? And sometimes some like issues pop up when you upload your related jars and all. But yes, if you're very open to spend something like you have expertise on Jmeter and you're looking forward some premium services, then you can go on BlazeMeter. But still, if you are well off, you're having number of machines available with you, I don't think so you will ever need BlazeMeter. Okay, so Jmeter is good enough. Like if you having machines available with you, VMs available with you, then you can without any cost, you can inject the load you want. Okay. Hello.
Yeah,
Okay. So let's start with the today's planning session. Okay. And the session is like to setting up. Today we will be discussing like setting up proxy server settings. Okay. And what are the different modes in Jmeter? Okay. So let's come to Jmeter. So as I told, like okay, Jmeter is a product of Apache. Okay, so I mentioned brief about history. Okay, how Jmeter evolved from version 2 to 3.1. There are different versions came to 2.3, 2.5, 2.7, 2.9, 3.0, 3.1, and latest there is 3.2. Right. So Jmeter is an open source Java tool. So basically, Jmeter works on a proxy mechanism. Okay, so what it exactly do is you need to turn on the proxy server. Okay, assign a dedicated port through which all requests will be directing to your server, and same proxy settings you need to enable in browser. Okay, so let's start with configuring these proxy settings. So here is the workbench node under which This is a temporary area, like in which you add things during your recording. Okay. So let's say I will be starting with. Okay. Now let's say you pointed to Workbench. Now right click on the same node, add non-test elements, HTTP test script recorder. Fine. Now this is the HTTP test script recorder. This is the element which helps you capturing the different HTTP requests. Fine. So there are global settings parameter. So this is the port we are looking to set. Let's say there is a port 8080. This is a free port. Neither of any of your program is using services on this port. So let's say I have entered 8080 port in here, right? So this is the target controller element which defines where you need to record your recording. Let's say you want it to be here, like at this level, thread group level. So you can tap over here. So whatever the request will be captured, they will be going in the thread group. Let's say if you want to have your recordings in test script recorder only under test script recorder, so you can select Workbench test script recorder. So they will be capturing over here. Okay. So now let's say so today we will be configuring a successful proxy. And now we have to start the server, this test script recorder. Okay. Let's say I have tapped this. So it will be indicating, okay, this is a certificate required, and that this is a Jmeter certificate configured in Jmeter. So it just pop up you some information. Okay, this type of certificate is being installed, and this is the username. So need not to worry about this thing. Just tap on OK, right? So now what you have done is you have just configured the Jmeter. Show someone wants to say something.
No, one of the person is facing the regex and he's not able to connect.
Who? Hello. Can I help in something?
Hi, yes, I'm Siman. I faced some issues regarding connecting
Okay.
Cisco. Good
Okay.
morning. So
Okay.
I
Good
joined
morning.
later. So I joined later, but there were some issues going on. Like, it says like host not found, kind of issues like that. Then some errors pop up on the.
Oh. Okay.
Now
No
it's
issues.
working fine. Please
Okay.
continue.
It's work. Let me know wherever you feel disconnected. I can repeat that thing. That's not an issue. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay. So what I was, yeah, we were like, we just entered a port 8080, and I have just turned on the script recorder start button. So now my Jmeter is prepared to start recording. Okay. So now I have to, like as I mentioned, I have to use the same port number in my browser. Okay. So let's say first of all I need to configure the settings. So here's the settings tab. Let's move to proxy. So here are those LAN settings. You can see you need to tap on this. Okay. Now you need to configure the same port over here. There's two attributes over here. One is address, over which you want to configure these settings. Okay, so let's say you're working on your machine, right? So you need to enter your local IP 127.0.0.1 or localhost, and similarly you have to mention the same port number you have configured and your Jmeter. Okay, so now you have to tap OK. So for better results, you can take a like restart or relaunch the browser. But Jmeter start recording once you are done with these settings. Okay. Now you can see these requests getting start capturing in your Jmeter, right? Let's say wherever you will tap or you will browse through the browser, everything will be now capturing in your Jmeter. So Jmeter works on the protocol, okay, HTTP, HTTPS. So wherever protocol is associated, Jmeter can record everything available. Let's say you're tapping something on your Windows, right? Some apps or desktop related apps. So Jmeter will not be capturing those requests because they are not over the protocol. So you guys can see, okay, these requests are being captured, right?
So, my understanding, if any change in the URL, that only will be captured, like that?
No. Like, let's say I have reload the same page, okay? So Jmeter will be capturing again, okay? So similarly, let's say you have entered some other URL or your server, okay? So Jmeter will be capturing this thing also. So yeah, now you can see. Let's say you can see that this is this is the element which helps to figure out which to which server this request belongs. Okay, this defines the protocol, what protocol was in use. Okay, and this defines what was the method, like whether it was a get method or it was a post method. Okay, so these and this is the port number field. These are the very important fields for any request you are capturing through Jmeter. Okay, for HTTP, by default it's do not use any port number. So in here you can view, okay, server name was this jmeter.archive, as we can see from over here. This was the server name. Okay. Port number, as I mentioned in HTTP do not by default use any port number. So port number is blank, right? Next is your protocol. Protocol as your HTTP. So Jmeter inherited the value of HTTP. Okay. And similarly, it was a get call. So method is being indicating get. Okay. So the any path after the server name, you can have that inherited value over here in path. Okay, so you can see different requests of Jmeter archive.org. Server name is same. This path thing is getting changed. Okay, so this is what is your HTTP request being captured in your Jmeter, right? So this is the server name, this is the protocol, this is the method, this is the port number, and this is the path after that server. Basically, the request path after the server name. Okay. So anything on this?
Yeah, hi, Madan. I have a question. So the application I'm testing.
Hi, may I know your good name?
I'm Swaroop.
Okay, hi Swaroop. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the application that I'm testing, it runs on SharePoint server. So I assume it would be the HTTP protocol, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so let's say if a couple of components are using other protocols like FTP or some other protocol, how would I know from through JMeter? So what all protocols are in my system, in my website?
Like what I understand, you are asking like how you can examine through Jmeter what protocol your application is using, right?
Right.
Yes. Swaroop, I want to add on to this, like if it's a simple web request, then you can make out, okay, it's an HTTP or HTTPS request. Okay, let's say if it's a Flash based application, then you can make out because it will display, okay, this is AMF format. So this is a pattern that will tell you with the experience, okay, whether this request belongs, it's a .NET application or it's a Java applications. Like in the .NET applications, you will be getting such strings, parameters, view state, and some like that. Okay, so you need to understand the you need to understand the pattern. Okay, what pattern you get in .NET applications, what you got in Java applications. Okay, so similarly, the more you will record, you will come to know, okay, what protocol it is. Let's say if it was a, you can say, maybe I will try to capture some Google requests. It will show you, okay, this is belongs to uh, I need to yeah. Okay, so like this is https google.com, but like Jmeter by itself, it cannot record the https traffic until unless we configure some certificate settings. Okay, we need to have some Java keystroke files also in bin directory. So the my point was over here is you need to capture more requests. Okay, the more you will capture, the more understanding you will able to build. Okay, how Jmeter distinguish requests. Okay, and you will be able to figure out the protocol.
Okay, so kind of scenario based. So for the scenario that I'm recording, I would be going through all the requests and response and figure out what.
Exactly. The moment, like, yes, once you will record the scenario, let's say you have recorded, like I will tell you. Now let's say I have re-record this. Okay, so this time, like now you can see, okay, these from this application, these .jtp requests are very important. Okay, because they are, again, when I have reloaded, the other things, PNGs, JPGs, they got cached, and you are only able to see these requests. So from this recording, you concluded, okay, for one instance, for a one chance, you can exclude these requests, but these requests are very, very mandatory because they are getting displayed, they are getting captured on every JMeter capturing attempt. Okay, so
Okay.
this is how you can make out what request is important, what is this protocol belongs to. But if I'm saying, okay, like if you want to use Jmeter as a tool for detecting the protocol, so I guess that's not the right fit for Jmeter. Like in loadrunner, there is a protocol advisor facility, but yes, in Jmeter there is no such protocol advisor facility. You need to capture the traffic, then you will able to know, okay, what protocol this request belongs to, right? Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So that right. So this is like when you record your traffic. Okay. So you will get the requests in different like you will get the different requests. You will get .html, and these are the requests. Like let's say for this website, .jtp requests are the main requests. Okay. So similarly, there will be some .ico. These are the icons which were being captured during the recording. Okay. So this is how you record your traffic in Jmeter. Okay. Now let's say you want to. Okay. Anyone with some
Yeah.
question?
Actually, whatever it's recording, everything is a request only, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And response, I mean, where can
Okay. We will like I will be covering things in sequence, right? Actually, right now we are just covering how to capture these requests. What my next is, I'm going to showing you, okay, how your request will display in response and runtime. Okay, so everything will be there. Just we need to move ahead in a sequence, right? So let's say you want to see the response. So these are the listeners element available in Jmeter. Okay, so we will be discussing in detail afterwards, but right now I want to show you, okay, how the response of your request at the runtime, right? So this is the view results tree I have placed over here. Now let's say let me record something. Okay, so this is you were looking for. Now you can see, okay, this was the request jmeter.archive.org. This was the response. Okay. So here are three different tabs we will be discussing in detail. So I just show you how you can view your request runtime status. You can even view your request response during recording also. So just you need to do is you need to place right click on HTTP test script recorder, then comes to add, then listener, and then add the view results tree as a child to this script recorder. Okay. So yeah, here are the attributes of HTTP request. You can mention it as guest, post. Okay. So these are other different options, but usually mostly these are you will be using get and post. Okay. So okay, these are the like I will tell something more about the different settings available in HTTP script recorder. So here is the timeout milliseconds. you can set the connection timeout for the request. Let's say you mentioned something 60,000 milliseconds. So Jmeter will now whenever you will run your load test, okay, whenever you let's say you run, if Jmeter is not getting any response within 60 seconds from server, so Jmeter will initiate a timeout. Okay, so by default it is 60 seconds. So you can configure this timeout to be a little low value or high value as per your requirement. Okay, by default it is 60 seconds. So similarly, there is HTTP request implementation. These are the forms of HTTP request implementation. So I guess for better settings, always use HTTP client 4. But remember, whatever value you are using in here, it should be the same over your entire Jmeter setup, like on different machines. Okay, because certain properties, like just to debug some issues, to fix some issues, we have to ensure these implementations should be same over all Jmeter clients. Okay, so here you can add parameters for a get or a simple request. Let's say you want to have a parameter name and assign it as a value Jmeter. Okay, so this parameter will be sent with this request. Okay, similarly, you can add more parameters. You can delete it. You can delete this one. Even you can add from something you have copied. You can add from clipboard, right? So anything so far on this?
Yeah, Madan, got a question. How to differentiate this request, which is useful, which is not useful,
Yeah, that thing. Okay, I will explain it again. No issues.
some icon files it will capture some
Okay,
other files.
I will share that. Okay, so as I said, let's say you started something capturing on your server. Let's say our server is Jmeter guy. Okay, so let's say I started my recording. So let's note this request. If you have noticed earlier, there were a number of requests, but now there are very less number of requests for the same server. Let's say I have click on some need help link. Okay, so now you have got 5 to 6 requests. These are the HTML, JTP, JavaScript. Okay, so let's say you can toggle these requests also with the help of like Control D. So these requests will be disabled. Okay, so now we are coming. Okay, so now let's say I reload this Jmeter, this link, same link. Now you can observe, okay, my request, few requests not get loaded this time. Okay, so but the requests which are loaded, they are .jtp, .html, .icon. Okay, so let's say you reattempt it. You need to capture your recording multiple times. Maybe it can happen. Sometimes Jmeter do not record everything in one step. Maybe one request being skipped, like page not get loaded successfully. So try to repeat your recording with the golden number 3. Like you attempt for 3 and then make out, okay, what are the different required requests during your workflow. So now you have eliminated these requests .js with the recording rule of 3. Okay, so these two requests you have already excluded, right? Now you have to make out between these things, okay, whether it is important or not. Okay, so let's say start with this request. Like once you will start recording these requests, you will be able to see, okay, as I know, like .html will not matter anything during your load test. So this is I know because I have captured a number of requests. I have worked on number of projects, right? Let's say, just let me add to this. Okay. Now, what you need to do is you have to analyze using your test. Okay. So as you can see, there is nothing meaningful in your response data. Okay, and like even in request you can see, okay, .html and .html nothing is getting passed. Okay, like no parameter is passing over here. Like you can see in different other scripts, there are the parameters which are being sent. So in .html request you cannot you are not able to view any parameter. And similarly in response data nothing meaningful is there, you need to extract. Okay, and now you have to come to this thing. Okay, let's say you figure out, okay, this is not any ID, this is not any required ID that I need to extract from here and to carry this ID in the next subsequent request. So you can eliminate this request as well. Okay, so based on the parameters, like nothing is getting passed in request, nothing important is available in this path attributes. Okay, and nothing is available, nothing meaningful is available in response. So on these three factors you eliminated this request. So this is how you have to do. You have to capture multiple requests for the same, you have to capture multiple recordings for the same request. Okay, and then on factors like what is being important passed in your script, what is the meaningful response you are getting, you have to eliminate the request. So in this way we have eliminated this request. Okay, so similarly we come to name servlet.jtp request. In here, first of all, you look, okay, this is server, this request belongs to the server on which we are recording, right? So this is important. Okay, then you come to path. Okay, path is nothing important is in path. Okay, we are fine with it. Now you comes to send parameters with request. Okay, so you can see something is being sent in your parameters. So you considered this request important for a certain time, right? Now let's say come to its response. So you can say, okay, response was not so meaningful, but we can see this request is getting reload every time to your breaking to the server. This is not getting cached. Parameters are being sent in this request. Okay, so on these factors like request parameters are there, this request is getting reloaded on every time you are trying to make in Jmeter. So on these factors you decided, okay, I need to keep this request. Okay, similarly let's move to your next request. So here also some parameters is indicated. Okay, similarly you can see, okay, some parameters are included. in a next request also. Now let's come to wave icon.ego. Okay, so here you can see, okay, server name was fine, path is wave icon dot favorite icon dot echo. Nothing is getting sent in the like parameters with request, and when you will see its response, you may not even have a response. You can, okay, let's say you try to view in your HTML format, so nothing important was listed over there also. So these things comes with experience. Okay, so as I know, they mostly .ico files contain your thumbnails or images. Okay, so on this basis we will eliminate this request as well. Okay, so other rules for this is, now what rules we have followed: multiple recordings to capture the same request. Then we are looking, okay, whether the request belongs to the same server. Okay, next, what meaningful parameters are being sent. Sometimes you can see requests with certain parameters, but they are not meaningful. Okay, so you can even eliminate at that level also. Then down you looks down to the result. Like in request you saw, okay, nothing meaningful was there in the response as well, so you eliminated those things. So these are the certain rules on the basis you decide, okay, whether to keep the request or not. And few exceptions I will also mention, like requests such as like a .js, CSS. Jmeter is not Jmeter do not like serve these JavaScripts or CSS elements. So whenever you are getting .js or .css it's anything like that in Jmeter, so Jmeter will not be able to execute those things. These are the exceptions. Okay, so you can toggle those things anyway. And like files with PNG, JPGs, these are the like requests you need to understand. Okay, they will get cached in the next attempt. So no need to have them implicitly in your test plan, because it's not realistic behavior to have the images in your recording. You need to configure Jmeter in such way. Okay, let's say you hit some URL once, first time images will be captured, but in next go they will get cached as per caching policy. Okay, so on those basis we always like toggle JPGs, PNGs we capture in our test. So
Okay.
okay,
One more question,
yes
like,
please, yes please.
like what kind of market standards for this performance for a software? Like, suppose a project has been given to test for performance testing.
Okay.
So what kind of data client, like there should be a benchmark, right? So
Okay.
what kind of details clients provide? See, for my software, this is the standard should be maintained. So
Okay.
ask for what is the requirement, and we will validate those requirements kind of thing.
Okay.
So
Okay. I will be I will tell you what benchmark or SLAs client asks for. Okay. Okay. Now let's say you got a requirement. You have a login script. Okay. Next you have some add to cart script. Next is here just checkout. Okay. So let's say you have these three flows. Now user or product will give you the okay. I guess someone have raised some question. Can I Ashok, can I have your question, please?
No, actually, whatever you told, just adding to that one. Do you have any strategy or plan, performance plan? I mean, just to get the feel of that, what is the parameters and how exactly it is evaluated and all this.
Validated, right? Same thing, right? Okay.
Same.
Okay. Yeah.
Have any document can be shared.
Okay. Now here, like there is nothing specific document maintained. Everything is derived from your client requirements. So I'm just sharing you how things are being validated or how clients share you with you. Okay, what exactly is the acceptance criteria for its performance testing? Okay. So now let's say clients have maintained different SLAs in terms of different performance metrics. Okay, so these are called you can in performance testing terminology you can say key performance indicator KPIs. Okay, so let's say number of business transactions. Okay, next is test duration. Okay, let's say average load. Next is your peak load. This is your double peak load. Okay, so this is how client share with you how he can validate the load test. So let's say client says, okay, I want my login script, I want my login to be completed under 1 sec. Okay, add to cart, I want to complete it under 3 sec. Let's say you can say 2 sec. Okay, and similarly I want to have checkout to be completed within less than 1 second. Okay, so let's say client is sharing with you for 30 minutes. Okay, for the 30 minutes labs. Okay, the test duration is you can like even ignore at this level. So what client is interested in? Okay, now login script should be this, like this. Okay, so he wants, okay, I want like 10,000 login transactions to be completed within 30 minutes. Okay, I want, okay, if 10,000 logins, let's say we take it to a lower number, 1,000 logins. Okay, I want around 20,000 add to cart, or you can say 2,000 add to cart within 30 minutes, and I want a 2,500 transactions for checkout to be completed within 30 minutes. Okay, so this is your acceptance criteria client have, like he has shared the SLAs he wants you to meet. So these are the things then you have to focus. Okay, when you ran a load test for 30 minutes, what was the average response time? Okay, what was the number of transactions you have achieved? On the basis of these numbers, your test will be considered as successful or failed. I guess this thing makes sense. These were the things you were looking for, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So similarly, user will share, okay, my average load will be 300 users. Okay. This will be the single consolidated cell. Yeah. So peak load, he says, okay, my peak load is 600. Okay. Next is double peak load. Double peak, it will just multiply your peak load number to a comfortable number according to like this is, you can consider it as a layman, like 600 to 1200 will be a double peak load. Okay. So this is its acceptance criteria. So the client will want you, okay, just first of all perform a load test for a average load 300, then 600, and then 1200, and client is seeking for this matrix. Okay, he wants at any cost average response to be between these brackets and number of transactions to be ranging through this. So it will define your validation criteria, whether your load test is successful or getting failed. Okay, so Jmeter reports will be telling you whether your response time is meeting your SLAs and number of transactions. So this is how you can validate your performance test. Okay.
Yeah. One more like how different the test cases of load testing and normal function testing test cases. Can you like share some load testing test cases?
Okay, like in load testing, formally there is nothing like you write some test cases, but yes, the test cases are maintained like this. Okay, like this is your, you can say, okay, this was your login checkout flow. Okay, so this will be your login checkout flow. Next, similarly, let's say you want another activity to be performed after login. Let's say you want to search. Okay, so you can log in, add to cart, or let's say simply you just want to search. So you can indicate your search. Okay, so in load testing, you can maintain these things like this because you get SLA requirements and everything from client, and you want everything to be on the sheet. So you can do in this way, and like you can also name these things according to your naming convention. Let's say your app is shopper stops, or you can say like this is, you can name similarly like BT, business transaction, login, checkout _1. Okay. Similarly, you can name it BT login, then search _02. Okay. So this is how you do things in load testing. So you can name these columns. These are the business transactions, or you can name them test cases as well. Okay. You can name it like transaction name, or you can like you mention in function test cases steps to execute. So here you can mention transaction flow or transaction name. Okay. This is your steps, test steps to execute. Okay. Now, these are your SLA thing. So you can maintain that thing in like, you can SLA. Okay. So this is how you maintain test cases in load testing. And if you want to write something formally, like you do in functional testing, so just break these things into the formal statements, and you will have the test cases as you have in functional testing. Okay, but in load testing, you make your test cases on the basis of your non-functional requirement. Okay, like these business flows are being like test cases are derived from your, first of all, your business need. What is your exactly business need? Okay, like login is a very critical business to every online websites. Okay, then for e-commerce, checkout should be working. Okay, search should be working. So these are the criteria that helps in finalizing the test cases in load testing. Okay, so I will be continuing with this thing from tomorrow, like how you finalize your test cases in load testing. What is the criteria? Like I will share in tomorrow's session. I will start with tomorrow's session. Like what is the different criteria you follow in finalizing test cases. Okay, so today's session was around test script recorder, how you record your requests, how you finalize your which request to keep and which request to exclude. Okay, so hope things correct in a good way.
Ashish, do we have tomorrow class?
Yes.
Tomorrow is a Saturday.
Tomorrow is a Saturday. Okay, let's say for tomorrow, I guess I will be able to deliver the class. In case I will not be able to deliver it, okay, as I told, I will be delivering from Monday to Friday, but sometimes I'm available at home, so I can deliver it. So I will be intimating you guys, I guess by evening I will be informing you whether class will be there or not. Okay.
Okay. And Ashish, one more request actually.
Yes, please.
Today I'm working from home. That is the reason I'm able to continue. But
Okay.
my shuttle comes at 8:05 around.
Okay.
So
Okay.
better you put hard stop at 8 o'clock. Then I don't miss anything.
Okay. Okay. I will be putting.
If everyone agrees, maybe we can start 5-10 minutes before itself, 6:50, 6:55. I mean.
Okay. I can.
I don't know. Because
okay.
today almost 20 minutes over. So,
actually, something I was having some issues connection in. Okay, so that's why I was not able to see. So
if agrees, maybe we can start 5 minutes before itself.
Okay,
so I can also join doubt clarification section. It will help for me also.
Okay, if you all guys okay with it, I can join. I can start on 6:55.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. If it is 6:55.
So okay. So anything related, any query on today's session? I guess I have connected every query raised in today's session. So if I missed any query, just let me know. Okay. So hopefully we are done with today's session. Okay.
Yeah, one more. Actually,
Yeah.
I need
Yes,
to know a
please.
little more about proxy. For example, as you showed today in the same system, JMeter as well as browser in the same box, correct?
Okay.
So assume like JMeter in the different box and I mean browser in the different box. If that combination is possible, or I mean, if it is possible, then how about proxy connections and all those things? How
Oh,
it will be possible?
will you just please come again? Like you said, your
Okay.
Jmeter is on another machine and your browser is on another machine. You're saying it that?
Server, basically server. It's not a browser. I can say browser. Server is in the different box and JMeter in the different box. I want to do the load testing on the server. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So is that combination is possible, or always JMeter and as well as server should be in the same box?
No, 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 no. Like if you will imagine about the realistic situation, your service will be always like remotely available to you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I showed you is you just need to have this recorder on and port enable. Okay. And have to configure the settings in browser only. So whatever server you will hit from here,
Mm-hmm.
irrespective of server where server is located, okay, server is available, you will be able to hit the server.
Mm-hmm.
So this is irrespective, like server is located somewhere else and Jmeter is configured on some other box. Okay, so you just need to hit any server and you will be able to capture the request.
Okay. So then
Because
whatever the report you are capturing, that is a server reports, or where the browser is running that report. So we
the,
should capture the server report. Am I right?
yeah, server reports will be captured.
Oh, for
Browser
example.
is just used as a medium to capture the request. Next,
True.
you will be hitting only the server when you will play back your scripts.
But okay, I'm still not clarified myself.
Mm-hmm.
For example, servers in the remote. Okay. Now
Okay.
JMeter is in the newer local.
Okay.
Okay. Now with the JMeter, you are simulating the load and you are sending to the
Remote server.
So
Okay.
now you are getting the final report. Okay, some
Yeah.
transactions
Yes.
happen. Final
Exactly.
report is this report.
Exactly.
My question, whether it is a server report or whether it is a local system report.
It's a server report that includes your time initiated from client, what time your request takes to reach client server, and then server takes some time to process it, and then it sends back to you client. So this reports include the total response time involved, the moment request was initiated and the moment request comes back to the client.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
yeah, I think your battery is low.
yeah. Actually, I even need to rush to office. But
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
you tell me if still something is there, we can discuss this like on next day.
Okay.
Maybe I
But
guess
still, only okay. I'll tell you my question. Maybe we can frame it on Monday. Also, that's fine for me.
yeah. You can frame it on Monday as well. Okay.
That main problem is I forget. That is sorry for that. Okay, one more. I don't
No.
take much time. 1 minute. Okay.
Mhm.
So only thing is, for example, if the server is there, I want to understand what is a processor utilization, RAM utilization, basically hardware utilization. So
Mhm.
now if you are hitting the request remotely to the server, okay, then whether really we are getting that hardware utilization from the that is what my question basically. But I feel like we are getting the local.
You will be getting the hardware utilization from the client machine as well, where Jmeter is running, and even the server as well, where
Okay.
your Jmeter is hitting the server.
Okay.
Okay.
That
So both,
basically yeah.
yeah, both end will be consuming the resources in terms of hardware, software.
Mhm.
Will be resource consumption will be there on both ends. Okay. I think now it's connected, right?
Yeah, it's connected. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I need to see how exactly that how to differentiate that one. Yeah.
Those things will get clarified like when we will
Yeah.
keep
I
on doing
understand.
things.
Okay,
Okay.
I got it.
So So
Yeah.
this is.
I
So
if
I guess
it's possible tomorrow we can have a class maybe. I mean Monday I can't spend more time on this to understand because we are in the day.
I will inform like if I will be available at home. I will surely deliver tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Ashish.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Roa.
Bye.
Thanks all. Have a good day ahead.